what are we going to do when Angelo sees this episode and he finds out we broke into the Montecito property?
Did you like all those comments we got on our political views?
Yeah.
We got a lot more than we normally do.
We really did. Oh, my God.
It really shook a chord with a lot of people.
We did. We have so much to talk about, though. Oh, my God. We have a lot to talk about. Now that I think about it, before Angelo comes home and finds us that we broke into his house here in Montecito. We've broken in. We secretly replaced our other location with the Montecito location.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, Ellen is moving out. And with that being said, welcome back, or welcome to Do It Like Danny. Oh, shut up.
Should just leave it?
Yeah, just leave it.
Okay.
I'm going to tell a million stories, and maybe one will hit home, and you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. Well, it is. You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Do It Like Danny. In today's episode, we have so much to go over. We have like a million things. First and foremost, we want to thank, obviously, Angelo for letting us break into his property. He'll find out eventually when it airs. He, unfortunately, right now had to take the day off because he is with his dog, Pepper. Aww. And so we want to send lots of our healing, amazing vibes to him because he's had that dog for a while. And you know, people and their pets, they love them. I don't have pets because I'm never home. And clearly, obviously, because I'm breaking into properties. And obviously, hello, welcome back, Cousin Lou.
Yeah, it's just us
AKA Sound Guy. Yeah, it's kind of like, it hasn't been us for a while, right?
A while, yeah.
I think we needed it. Listen, we definitely needed it. I mean, last week's episodes were shit shows. In my personal opinion, in my humble opinion.
I think it was probably some of the worst stuff we've done so far.
No, I mean, it wasn't that crazy. I just need to, love our friend.
Yes.
But we just kind of went off the rails. I loved Angelo's political rant.
No, that episode
was amazing and great. That was very good.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped kind of shore up where everybody's at sort of in the selection.
Yeah.
And off the heels of that, we have, again, so much more to talk about. First and foremost, I have to address something because we actually tried to touch on it last week, but it was not able to be put into the episode because of our insane friend who she's taking a vacation. She's on furlough right now. So, it kind of all stems from, when we first started this, when you first approached me, the original theme of this program, I'm just like an old person, program/show, was the purpose of it was going to be to detail my personal life and to detail my trajectory in television.
Yes.
And for many, months and year, we did that. We did season 1, which is on audio, which you can still go listen to, follow, subscribe.
Spotify and iTunes.
And, then we moved over season 2 to YouTube and we began to tape our season number 2. However, midstream of that, not even midstream, like in the beginning, the first few months, little Louis broke his leg, obviously. He got hit by a car and there was insanity. And we still think Angelo did it.
That's why we can't find who it was.
Mm-hmm. And not that it fell apart when you came back, but it kind of took a different turn.
Yeah.
I'm not upset with the direction at all whatsoever. And the only reason why I'm going back and retracing some of my steps is because people have asked. People want to know what happened to me at Se Habla, or AKA The Talk. They are on the heels of their final season right now, season 15. Congrats to them. It lasted 15 years. A lot of people, when we started the show in the beginning, didn't even think it would last that long. So where they were and where they've come from and what has happened in the past few years, congrats. I mean, listen, when I started the show, working for the show, it was amazing. It was great. It was fun. However, it's true, and I don't mean to be super negative, but all good things do come to an end.
Yeah.
And you move on to the next chapter.
Yes.
I think that's probably a better way to put it. It's like we all have our encyclopedia or book, however you want to put it in your particular life, movies, and we're now in different scenes, and now we're in different chapters. Fatter, happier, healthier, shockingly enough.
Less stress, huh?
Less stress, definitely less stress. But what I can say is, going back to where I began, You know, people wanted to know what happened in the show. We will be getting back to that eventually. I just want to let you know, all of our avid listeners. I hope I don't lose some people. I hope you stay on this journey and you understand why I have to continue detailing my stories. In the beginning, when I first started this with Louie, to be honest, and I'm not going to even lie about this, it was. I wouldn't say it was about revenge. I think it was just about, I wanted people to know how horrible my final year was there.
Yeah.
And what I went through, and the lies and the treachery and, you know, the deceit. And it really was like a clue, like who's next? Who's next to stab me in the back,
Yeah,
right?
you wanted to explain to people the things that they didn't know. Because
Yeah.
there's certain things that people know
And certain
that
things-
you've told, but then there's other things you probably kept to yourself because you're like, that's just too much to just throw on to people.
Correct. And there's also a lot of characters that people wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
And then during that process, I realized by me detailing all the stories of the things that happened to me, it became very cathartic in terms of I started to feel lighter and I started to feel better. And the show took a different turn, as you can see. It all also stemmed from the main person who was against me, who had colluded with others to get me out of my position after I'd been promoted by this person. Unfortunately, this person died. So for a while there, I kind of struggled. I struggled because in my mind, I felt that there would perhaps never be a reconciliation. I felt like I had been cheated. I felt like nobody will ever know both sides of the story, because at the end of the day, everybody gets their turn to be able to say what they want to say, right? There's always three sides. It's yours, theirs, and the truth.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever consider possibly having her on the show before she passed?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And, and I would never have guessed that because I wasn't going to ask you that.
Absolutely.
But did you really want that for you, or did you want that for both of you?
We were friends in the beginning.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but we were friends in the beginning. And maybe it was just acquaintances. Maybe that's television. Maybe in my mind, I believe that this person, she was a friend and she wasn't all along. I mean, when you work in television, you do fall prey to the vapid society that exists.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's all negative. There were some, listen, my time at Tyra was amazing. I can't say that for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody has their own,
They have their own,
right?
their
Some
own
people
side.
were like, I hated Tyra. It was terrible. It was the worst time of my life, right? But for me, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not the worst time of my life. It was probably one of the best chapters of my life. I mean, I've had many great chapters, let's be honest. But in terms of when I moved over to the talk, I learned a lot. I learned also too to kind of, I had an ego. Everybody in television has an ego.
You did?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, wow.
Everybody
Interesting.
does.
I don't think we've touched up on that, so we definitely have to touch
and we'll
up
definitely
on that.
dig into
Yeah.
that because, I definitely had an ego. I thought that I was untouchable because I wanted to be perfect. Remember?
it.
And that's part of the whole with our friend. And it's like, it took me a while to figure out that nobody fucking cares about being perfect. Nobody cares if you're going to mispronounce. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And it took me this long to figure that out. And that's why we took a little, excuse me, as something flew into my eye, Montecito. And that's why the show took a turn I think in a kind of in a more positive way.
Yeah.
Because it became about me bitching. It went from bitching, and I'm not, just to lack of a better word, me detailing my stories.
I was going to say, I didn't think it was bitching, but I understand what you were saying.
Me detailing my stories to, we were having fun.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about all that. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's been over 5 years. Nobody cares. And I think the hardest thing for me to grasp in all of that was she's no longer here.
So it
And
doesn't
I am.
matter.
And exactly, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And I need to create something that's going to leave a legacy. In television, you could work multiple hours. You can be an executive producer. You can make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
But if you don't have anything that shows you who you are, who you were on tape and recording, then no one's never going to know what you brought to the table.
Yeah, correct.
And I think with this, people were able to see my personality and able to see that no matter what, I'll always be crazy.
Whether you're in television or out of it, that's who you are.
And I'm not really here to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I really came from love. We all came from love.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, some people didn't receive that.
Yeah.
And I can't be responsible anymore because they're not my children to raise.
Yeah.
And I learned that from my mother. She'd say, they're not your kids. You can't raise them. They're not your kids. And I tried to for so many years. I tried to be a mother to all of my staff. And it came off as sometimes, demanding and bossy and, power hungry. But that's not me. That is probably me that got caught up in the television atmosphere, right?
Okay.
So going back to all that, yes, the show took a turn. Yes, you want to hear the rest of my stories. We've heard it. We hear you loud and clear. We will get back to that. But once we end that, I have a feeling we're probably not going to revisit it ever again.
That's good because
Right?
to be honest, that was the whole purpose of
Yeah.
that start. Eventually, we were going to have to figure out where to go with the show after that chapter was closed.
Correct.
So now that you share that with everybody, are you sure you're okay to go ahead and tell that story and why?
I thought about that also too because, to fortify my point, which nobody cares, it's not about them anymore when it comes to me detailing my stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's going to help me grow and it's going to help me become a better human being.
Yeah.
Because I need to get that out. For so long, I held on to it. I thought it was my fault. I can't, I'm not going to say that it wasn't. There's blame everywhere. And then once you use blame, I would say there's responsibility to be, taken a hold of in every situation, right? And I want to be responsible for what I brought to the table. But I think back and I'm like, I toyed back and forth, should I? She's passed. It's horrible to really talk about someone that's passed on.
Yeah.
And I think that when I finally do it, I think I'm going to give her respect. I think I'm going to give her the respect that she never gave me. And not that it's like a, one-upper, but it's just enough so that in a weird way, we can kind of honor her. Because at one point, we were friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry to kind of take you on this Danny Verdugo roller coaster of right? But in better news, and like I said before, more to come. But in better news, let's see. Wow, our shows did really well. I want to thank everybody again for liking, following, subscribing. You must be telling somebody. We have hit monumental numbers on TikTok, monumental numbers for us on Instagram, and our YouTube is just amazing, crazy, and insane. I have to thank Cousin Louie for his amazing editing skills.
I try.
And for me, always, shoving the fire poker up his ass. And he hates that.
You know what, though? You taught me how to be a better producer and editor because you're always telling me you can fix it. Try this or try that. And every time I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work. And I do it and I go, it actually does work. So,
Well, I mean, listen, when it comes to things like this, there's a solution for everything.
Yeah.
We're not saving lives.
Yeah.
We think we are. In television, there are people that they swear they're saving lives. All across the country, people are going to be like, oh my God, I'm cured.
Well, like you, I always want it to be not perfect because I started off, I wanted it to be perfect. Now I'm a little bit more like, well, it is what it's going to be, but I still want it to make sense at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ever just throw out content that I feel is going to be bad unless you give me the okay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up with last week, and I'm kind of glad you did call me because, again, if I could show you, we both are in that episode, just kind of like, all right, what's going on here?
You know what? Listen, I love her to death, but there's a lot going on there.
Yeah,
There's
you know what? It's
lot
just
going on there.
the mojo was off for whatever freaking reason. I mean,
Yeah.
every time we've had guests, we've always made it work. We've cut this, or I've had to cut that, and I'll figure it out. But this one was really tough.
Well, a lot of people were commenting and saying, it's just, she kept, I think people, okay, so I've known her for a very long time.
Yeah.
We have that personality that I don't think a lot of people understand.
Yeah, you have the ping pong.
We do, and we
Yeah.
go back and forth. And I think some people look at it as, oh, she's so mean.
Or bickering.
She's trying to get you every opportunity. We've always been like that.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't take it personal And that's something I had to learn also too over the years. It's not personal. I took it personal, and every once in a while I slip. I still take it personal. I think she still takes everything personal.
Yeah.
Now, I can't speak for her and her business situation because I don't work with her anymore. But for our friendship, I mean, we will always be thick as thieves.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, she can be a bit much. I think she's hilarious. A lot of people don't really agree.
I feel like some people, you either like her or you don't.
Yeah, and that's me too.
Yeah.
There really is no medium
Yeah,
with me.
yeah.
It's either this guy or like, oh my God, we love him. And I'm like, I just need to off and you love me?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but we both come from very good places.
Yeah.
We both come from very good places in terms of, like that love again. Yeah. And Angelo too. I love having Angelo on the show
me
because
too.
it just provides, an older perspective. Even though we're very close in age.
I do miss my partner sitting next to me.
But listen, it's a lot to run this. It's a lot, and I don't think people know that in general. And
They don't.
If
They
people are
don't.
doing that by themselves, fucking kudos to them.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah, it's
It
a lot
really
of
is a lot.
timing. It's a lot of prep. It's a lot of dealing with different personalities, how to wrangle them all together. Scheduling is also a big problem.
Yeah.
And that's just for the show part. Then get into the editing. And, well, the sound went out. Or, the video didn't come in.
We
or
didn't record.
Or we didn't record. Or how
Or-
about we were talking and then we lost light and Angelo goes dark. So if you watch the episode, I did not make him go dark. I got a lot of messages going, why did you make him go dark? I'm like, I didn't. If you'd watch, you'd find out. We were on a weird schedule of time.
Were.
And as we finally got our groove after like an hour or two, it was already dark and Angelo went pure dark.
Oh, and then you had Matt walking, right? So for those of you at home, that's my good friend Matt. God bless him. I just recently started, kind of speaking with him again. I will always love him to death dearly, but he I don't want to put all his business out
Yeah,
there.
good
but
heart, good-hearted person,
heart,
yeah.
good guy.
Just everybody has their own things.
He's too many. He got that vice, though, right?
Yeah, we all have our thing.
We all have our thing. I just wish he would not drink so much. But, yeah, that's I'm putting out in the universe. Put in the universe. I didn't say I made a mistake, but we brought him back, and he just, he did prove us wrong.
Same old, yeah.
He didn't change,
Yeah.
and that makes me sad.
I'm
It's been a
pissed
whole
too.
year,
I
and
know.
it's like, oh God.
I always liked Matt. Ever since I met him, he's a very
not
sweet
bad
dude.
guy.
No,
he's
he's
so
not.
sweet, and he's so nice. He just has that demon. We gotta call him exorcism, exorcist. Maybe the cousin on Facebook who's all about Chivas can call someone for us.
To save him.
But also too, our political statements have been, been widely received. We've been, right? In addition to the political statements, the roommate loved his brief
Oh,
appearance.
did he?
He loved his brief appearance. He loved it.
Did you tell him it was the most watched
He said,
TikTok?
I didn't dare. I didn't dare. And he loved it. He absolutely loved it. And I laughed so hard because I was like, oh my God. I was like, really?
The funny thing is, what people don't know is when I approached him about this show, I told him, I said, you know what? The one thing people are going to do, they're going to come out and support you. It's going to be your friends. But what he does really good is he implements all of you guys in your stories, and each and every one of you gets your 15 minutes, and you guys always tune in and support the show, and I love that. That's what I love about what he does for everybody else. And I've gotten to kind of know some of you vicariously through him, through his stories.
So listen, the funny part is, going back to Jurgen, is because Darnella spent the night at my house,
Yeah.
right? And so, of course, obviously, we drank until like all hours.
Talk
It's
about
our
life.
usual, talking about who knows what we're talking about. She's always right.
Mhm.
So I let her have her day, and of course, Jurgen came in, and he was like, "Hello, Darnella," and he was like chatterbox. He couldn't wait for someone to come over so that he could not talk smack about me in a mean way, but he's just like,
Yeah.
he can share. He's like, "Oh, Darnella, da, 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 da,
Did
da."
you
And
see
he
what
was
this
like,
beach did?
Yeah, this beach, fucking beach. Oh my God, it's so funny, but it's, and he told me, he's like, "I'm going to tell cousin Louis." I'm like, "Well, you follow him on Instagram?" But of course, when he wants something,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I'll wait for it.
Yeah, he's so crazy. And he goes, "I'm going to tell everybody." I'm like, "You can't." I'm like, really? Tell him how we met. Tell him how we met. Tell him how I met your mother. Thank you for sure. There's no shame in my game, but he forgets. He has forged a path across the Valley and West Hollywood. People know him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so secretive with his Instagram, all of his accounts.
Wow.
Oh, it's just Facebook. It's like in Japanese because he's secretive because people will try to find him.
Yeah.
Because these boys, they fall in love.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Listen, in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, this is so great. And then I
You
saw the
felt-
real him, and I was like,
fell for it,
oh, run. Like, you know, when you watch those programs and they're all, run, right? And I'm like, ah! You just got to run far away. So, you know, at some point, he's going to exhaust the Valley again. I mean, he moves so frequently because he exhausts the area.
Yeah, yeah.
And he claims, oh, no, I cannot find nobody. But he's out there knocking boots. You know what I mean? And I always tease him about it. And he gets so like, no, I have not. I'm like, you have, boo. You have. You took a shower and you came home and took a shower, which he like never practically showered. It's like, he says it's a buildup of his immunity. That's what he says, right? So then I know, and I just make fun of him, and I laugh. I'm like, "Oh, you went out tonight." And he's like, "I did not. I'm like, "Whatever."
The collection of characters that you have around you is it's amazing. It truly is.
Is that though? What is it? Me?
Yeah.
Am I that f***ed up then that
No.
I attract that?
It's not f***ed up. It's just you're a character as yourself. So
Oh
people,
my
I
God.
think you probably make people feel comfortable to be a character themselves.
Yeah, I don't want to judge.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to get judged. So
Yeah.
why would I judge? No, granted, have I judged? Absolutely.
I don't want to judge, but am I a judgmental
Absolutely.
bitch? Yes.
Give me a gavel and a rope. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, I have judged. And I slip every now and then.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, you know, it happens. But, you know, another perfect example, Anitra.
Yeah.
I love her to fucking death. But again, not everybody is a fan.
Yeah.
And again, she comes from a good place. Her heart is in it. Like her sister loves her. Her dad is all about her. It's like she's a really good little support system. But, you know, sometimes she gets a little saucy and it comes off bad. And then that just ruins it for people.
Oh,
But
wow.
I don't know. She always claims, Anitra says to me, oh, you don't trust me. You don't trust me. It's like, I'm never going to trust anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to trust at all, especially after Jurgen. I don't trust anybody.
Trust is hard. We
Trust
come
is
from
very hard.
trust issues.
And it's like, I trust my family.
Yeah.
I trust my family immensely. So, you know, it's not personal. If my friends who are watching are like, oh, he doesn't trust me either. It's like, it's not personal. Again, it's not personal. It's not about you. It's about me.
Well, going back, I mean, after what you shared with everybody, I think trust is really hard, especially after you said you were friends with this person and you know, you were no longer friends with this person that passed.
Yeah, and like to put it closely, like you know, we were amazing. You know, I knew her and we loved each other, and there was like a bunch of friends that we all knew each other, and I wouldn't put her on the level of Dana. I mean, Dana's just a different level altogether.
Yeah.
Like that's. I could never even. Nobody can hold a candle to Dana. Dana's and I don't mean to say that as like a competitive for my other friends, but that I grade them. It's not like that. Just Dana and I have something. I don't know. I never said this to her, but I kind of feel like I want to make the joke and be like, we've been here before. Like Dana feels so familiar to me. Like I have no idea. I don't know how this whole thing works, but Dana it always feels like home with Dana.
Yeah.
Like it just does. I mean, there's just this weird, and I don't mean weird in a mean way. There's just like we just have this like connection.
Yeah.
And when we're together, it's like, okay, what do you need? Okay, great. No problem. You know, it's like she's been beyond supportive. And
Instead of ping pong, it's like it's support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what I always will love about her is the fact that she said to me, you know, it's not fair that. What did she say? Oh God, she could totally correct me. I can hear her in my head calling me. What I said was right. When she said to me when I was going through some hard times, she said, "Well, it's not fair that I got to laugh with you,
Yes.
and not cry with you."
Correct.
Right? I know you're going to correct me, Dana.
No,
and
she
that's okay.
said,
Do you remember?
oh God, no, I had it on the tip of my tongue because I was there when she said that. She said, why would you allow me to laugh with you, but not allow me to cry with you?
Yeah.
I believe that's what she said.
Yeah. She should respond on our YouTube. Or
Like, follow, subscribe.
I hope she does. Listening to us at like 1 1/4 speed. Excuse me, as we cough and die out here in Montecito.
Ay.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, there's a love there between her and I that like, oh my God, like she's my definitely in case of emergency break glass.
Yeah.
So when you have your friends that, you have those friends where you're like, no problem. Where are you? Okay, great. I'll be right there. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on the side of the road. Yeah. Okay, great. Got you. No problem. But a lot has been going on. My poor friend Philip, his father, Philip's mom died at the beginning of the year. She passed, excuse me. And his dad is not doing so well. Like his leg swelled up and then it burst.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know how that even happens. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're not caring for him. I don't know. He's a family. So Philip had to drive up there, and he was a mess and a wreck. And it's like,
Yeah, it is kind of, it's a lot.
it's when it comes to people losing their parents, I can't say, oh, I know how you feel, or it's going to be okay, because I don't know, because my
Yeah.
parents are still alive,
Yeah.
right? And if you talk about my grandparents, well, then yes, of course, I've lost all my grandparents, and I love them dearly, and I know how much that hurt, especially losing Mama, and, my grandfather and my grandma Irene, because they were so instrumental in, and I'm going to say not only in my life, but all of our lives.
Yeah.
And speaking of family also, too, on another note, before I start to cry,
I could hear it.
my cousin Gina, she asked me to make Rice Krispies and dip pretzels for her son's baby shower. Christopher and
Yeah.
Emma, congratulations to them. They're having a boy.
Oh,
I think
wow,
she's doing
congrats.
October. I didn't ask shit. I'm so bad.
Such a bad
Such
cousin.
a bad cousin. I was like, like all week I was working on it, right?
Yeah.
It was like making my Rice Krispies, and Louis gonna show you photos. So the theme was classic Pooh. And so for those of you at home that don't know what classic Pooh is naked.
I have no
For
idea.
lack of a better word. He is stark raving naked. And that is classic Pooh. So like there is no Christopher Robin. There is I didn't find him. Maybe
Interesting.
he is in there, but I'm sure he would have had to have been naked, and then there's a whole Disney thing, right?
Yeah.
Disney going woke. So
Put clothes on him.
Oh, yeah. So Pooh has no clothes, and Tigger is very muted. He's like almost like not the Halloween orange that he is, but he's like a lighter orange, like sherbet.
Okay.
Pooh is more like a beige, not so golden honey like that he is.
Interesting. So when somebody asks you, hey, can you do this for us? Like, what's your process of going about, oh, yeah, sure, I can do that. But how do you do your research to get everything that you need to?
I'll be honest. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Just wing it?
It's not so much that I wing it. It's just more like what helped me is I asked her and I said, okay, what do your decorations look like?
Oh, okay.
And then when she showed me that they were like she made these really cute, they were like honey pots.
Oh,
But they
okay.
had flowers in them, real, and they put
Ah.
like real dripping honey in it.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
did
yeah,
the
yeah.
honey, and they did the ends backward, which is like classic Pooh.
Classic.
So I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. Oh, because I was going to do like a Pooh-shaped Rice Krispie and then do like details. So making the Rice Krispies, I did 6 cookie sheets.
Okay.
I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 8 batches.
So how much does that usually get you?
8 batches will run you about over 100 Rice Krispies.
Oh,
yeah,
you
I
did
made
over
100.
100?
I made 100 Rice Krispies, and I don't make small ones.
No, you
I
make big ones.
I made big ones,
Yeah.
right? And then I did 75 dipped pretzels.
Oh, okay.
Which is you dip them in chocolate and then you decorate them, right? Those are super easy.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is, for the most part, is pretty easy except for some of the decorations. I also, if you'll see in some of the pictures and the photos when he shows you, there are these cute little bees I found on Amazon. Those were probably the most expensive.
What were they? Just normal bees?
They were like sugar bees.
Oh, okay.
And then, but I'm not going to sit there and make sugar bees. Like,
Like, I ain't got time for that.
that's a lot of time, right? And Ange helped me too. She made this like template, and I was like,
Okay.
oh my god! And she has like a Cricut machine, and I'm like, oh, I want to do a honeycomb, but I was looking to, because I had this gold glitter, and I wanted to just dust it over the
Yeah,
top,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
have the outline of honeycomb.
Okay.
Then put a sugar bee and have him dropping pollen around
Oh,
it, right?
nice.
So I did it, but for some reason the honeycomb didn't take. I think because the edible glitter was so fine, every time I pumped it onto the thing, it kind of just went under the
Under the Rice Krispie.
yeah, it went under the
Soaked it,
stencil and it
yeah.
was in there. So I didn't want to smash it onto the Rice Krispie to get that seal, because then you're gonna have this like weird, I don't know. So I think next time I know how to fix that.
Okay.
But going back to your question, because I kind of went all crazy, I never really know. Like even Emma's Minecraft, I was like, ugh, right? I would look at things and I was like, oh, I can do that. That looks easy to me.
Yeah.
So I made the 100 Rice Krispies, and then they have to dry.
Yeah.
So Rice Krispies are sticky, right? So I have to literally put wax paper, and I literally opened up my table that goes from 6 to 10.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask you
I
because
had
that you have a
all
tiny
the
table.
Rice Krispies on the table there, and I made sure that it was like all nice and clean, and it was like like a perfect environment, right? And so then I was like, oh God, shit, I need to look at some things online. So I looked at stuff online. And what's crazy is because like when you go on Etsy for a dozen Rice Krispies, people charge like $38 for a dozen decorated. I'm like, I just made a fucking 100. Holy shit. Right?
So why aren't you charging? Let's put it that way.
So that's the next thing, right? So we've been playing with that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll flash the logo. I'll send it to you. But this is the logo that we're playing with right now. I would like your feedback. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm asking you, as viewers and subscribers who like, follow, and subscribe, we would like your opinion. What do you think of my potential new business logo? You let me know, because I am now, I think, going to start to just make Rice Krispies and do sweet treats for people.
Huh.
And I like it. It's fun. It's not work to me.
It's okay.
And I think that is why I'm going to try to pursue this a little bit more.
Oh, cool.
So if you see these photos we're about to show you, then maybe you can hire me to do your Rice Krispies. I'll ship. I don't know how I would do that. But we'll figure it out. In the United States, I will ship. I don't do international. I'm trying to think like... but again, I don't know if you have to open up an Etsy. Like,
Yeah. You should probably figure out something else on Etsy,
because
though.
don't they get money?
Well, they take, from what I remember, they changed their policy and they take more money from you now than they ever did. So you should probably, we should probably figure out how to get you a website.
Yeah.
Your own website.
Or can I just do Instagrammy?
Yeah, you could do that too, actually.
Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
you can make a business account and then just do it from there, and people can order from there. And
So look at the photos and you decide. I think I should do it. Me personally, I like this stuff. I'm not. Listen, I'll be honest. Am I a baker? Absolutely not.
but you're good enough.
Jimmy was a baker.
Really?
Jimmy was a baker because Jimmy was more disciplined.
Ah.
See, I like to cook, and when I cook, I'm like, that needs cumin. That needs this, right? And you add more things, and you taste it, and you're like, it needs like an acid. Like there's just weird, I don't know, there's just weird things that you just go through in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that, right? And none of my recipes were ever the same when it comes to cooking. However, I had to be a little disciplined because in the past, when I've made these Rice Krispie treats for family and stuff, I've just been like, oh, this butter, marshmallows, and then I just dump Rice Krispies in after, right? And I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta make another batch. So then I forget, and I'm like, well, how many did I use? And what did I do? So in this time, I was very disciplined. I stuck to the recipe, my recipe.
Yeah.
I did what I did, and it made a cookie sheet. And I was like, oh, okay, great. All right. So then I got the next cereal, and I was like measuring it and making sure. And then I was like, okay, all right, good.
Do you have it all written down, though?
I do not.
Don't you think you should?
No.
All right.
I don't have anything written down.
Wow.
The recipes I got from my mom, my grandma Irene, Obama, like they're all in my head.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody eats like that too. I mean, who makes Rice Krispies? Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I made them. And I will be honest, me personally, they weren't perfect enough, right? So, I'm decorating them, and I made these like honey pots, and then I dripped yellow white chocolate to make it look like honey, and I put a little bee. But in the beginning it was all perfect, right? But then the chocolate starts to get a little harder because it's cooling.
Yeah.
So I'm squeezing my piping bag, and I'm like, oh, I got carpal tunnel from being a server all those years. I was like, oh shit, like, oh my God. So there's a couple of them where I'm like, like all crazy. Like
too much chocolate on one, not enough on the other.
A glob, and I was like, oh shit.
How do you go about solving that issue, though?
You don't. You take the tip and you kind of like rub it in and try to like make it, a little bit smoother. But then, of course, then those have to dry, right?
Yeah.
I think the most tedious part of all of that is the individual packaging of them. So I individually package every single one, right? And what I use is a self-adhesive bag. So I pull this like little piece of plastic off. Here is the bitch of it all. this little piece of plastic, I should have brought
Should
one.
have brought some.
This little piece of plastic, for some reason, it like, when you pull it off, it just goes, ooh, and it sticks to everything.
Really?
It sticks to your fingers. You're trying to take it off. So what I had to do is, even my mom was helping me with last time with Emma's, and
Got a little cup of water.
get a cup of water.
Got it.
So I got a cup of water, and I would just, as soon as it would stick to my finger, I would dip in the water, and boom, it would stick in the water. I'm like, "Great, leave it there." But then the other nasty part of that is then I'm like, oh, I had to dump the water, and you're like, oh, you're still, yeah. So anyway, so I had to do all that, and I was very happy to make them. Everyone loved them.
That's good.
There were 3 different kinds of Rice Krispies. There was white chocolate. I always use Ghirardelli chocolate. I'll give
your
that
favorite.
secret away. It just tastes better.
It does.
It really just tastes better. I tried. I was gonna do an Eeyore cookie, and I had to scrap it because I got the chocolate that you get from Michael's. Michael's has like all these different chocolates in different colors, right? And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna try the blue one, and then I mixed some white in to kind of take the edge off of that royal blue because the Eeyore is like kind of like a mix between like a gray blue sort of, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't lightening up, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to waste any more chocolate. So I'm like, whatever, it'll work out, right? So I started dipping the Oreos, and I was like, I don't know about this chocolate. It was like really thick, and it wasn't happy. And
Well, it's probably not made for that too. Some chocolates can do certain things, and other chocolates probably just aren't.
no, it was melting chocolate.
was it?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
melting chocolate, but it just wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't friendly. So I was like, okay. So I packaged them anyway because what I was going to do is I was going to do a round Oreo cookie and put Eeyore's color. And then in fondant, I was going to make a tail. So cut some fondant, roll it out, and then cut individual little to make like a mane, right? Basically Eeyore's butt.
Yeah.
And then I was going to take pink fondant and make these pink bows. I already had I had the stencil kit, everything.
You know how to make fondant?
No. You can buy it.
Oh, you buy it already
You can
pre-made.
buy it and you can dye
I was
it,
gonna
yeah.
say what?
But it's actually not hard to make.
Oh, okay.
And you can make, because the fondant you buy in the store, it's very sweet. You can make variations of fondant. Excuse me. You can make variations of fondant that are not as sweet.
Ah, okay.
But it's egg white. Like it's like a whole it's like making marshmallow.
Oh,
and then you
alright.
add some cornstarch. It's basically marshmallow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just
okay.
marshmallow with cornstarch, and then it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, and then you have your
Oh.
consistency.
I had no idea. That's interesting.
When you taste it, next time you taste a fondant, you're gonna catch the marshmallow and be like, oh yeah, this is like a squishy marshmallow. Yeah. So anyway, so long story short, went to the party. My sisters were there. We were having a blast. We had so much fun. I forget how funny my cousin Nikki is.
Oh yeah.
And my tia Sylvia,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
giving her a hard time. She goes, Mijo, I bought you this book. And I said, she's about Indians. And I said, oh, about our Indians or how the colonizers raped all of our family, right? And she's like, Mijo, you can't say that because there were other Caucasians there.
Other
There were other
colonizers.
white people at the party. And I'm not racist. We just have jokes, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, how they took him out of Chavez Ravine, aka Dodger Stadium, right? And so she was laughing. She goes, oh, you know what? But she was so hilarious. She said, I bought you this book, and which, by the way, Thea, I totally forgot the book. And so she says to me, she goes, I should have bought you one of those for the car. The book for the car, you just plug in. And I go, no, Thea, it's an app. I think she thought that you can plug those audio books
Yep.
in the car. It's just an
Yep.
app. It's on your phone.
Yeah.
Thea, we have so much to teach you. God bless you. But I love that she listens to the show also too, because she sent me information about the vice president and like what they do, because we were asking, right, going back to the political, which got us a lot of views. So it's hot, you know.
It's definitely a hot topic for some.
It's definitely a hot topic, and we'll go into that in just a second. But to finish the story at the party, so I probably was tired more from laughing.
Yeah.
Because from the moment that I got there, my cousin Nikki, I forget how raunchy we can be and like how out of control. We were just making jokes. And what I generally love about my cousins is that when it comes to them and that side of the family, we can talk shit to each other. And
Yeah.
it's like water off a duck's back. But it's so funny because we're all so quick.
Yeah.
Right? Meanwhile, I was stuffing my face. I was starving.
Making jokes while you're eating.
Yeah, well, I had been up finishing up the Rice Krispies Friday, I stayed up until 4 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I stayed up until 4 in the morning, and I was like, I think it's getting blue outside. I should probably take a nap, right? So then I ended up falling asleep, and then I needed more chocolate. I'm like, shit, I ran out of chocolate. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I going to do, right? And so I took off to Gelson's. They didn't have it. I went to Ralph's. They didn't have it. I drove all the way to Smart and Final. They didn't have it. And I was like, okay, plan B. So then I came with a plan to like use more of the white chocolate and do gold. And like, so it all worked out together.
Yeah.
So I was literally packaging up Rice. I was full of edible glitter. Like it was all over my table. I vacuumed it, and then I went to go look in the mirror, and I'm like, oh my God, my whole face was like all over. It was edible glitter was everywhere. So then I showered and I went to the party. Of course, I showed up and I ran to Chris and Rachel and my sister and her husband. And then my sister, Nikki, my sister Cynthia came also too. My poor little niece, Emma, she's sick. Emma, get better. Sorry.
Aw, I just saw her last week. She was okay.
Yeah, she said apparently she got sick this week. She had a little nose sniffle.
That's why you're getting sick. Cynthia gave it to you.
Oh, God, I hope not. I'm feeling a little, I'm patting my weave. I'm feeling a little. But anyway, so we laughed the entire time, right? So then she got a taco lady, and I was like, I'm fucking starving, right? So normally I wait. I'm not going to lie. Like, normally I'm like, oh, let everybody go. I'll go after, right? Because listen, I'm not going to lie. I want hot food. Because when they first get there, right, they got to heat up the plancha. They got to heat the meat up. And so when you get like halfway through, now they're really cooking, right? So the heat's going, the food's going to be hot, right? So I'm like, that. I was like in the first 10 people. I was like, I'm starving, right? And I feel so bad because my cousin Nikki and I were laughing, and I said, oh, I want a quesadilla. And by the way, they weren't, I mean, not that this is negative, but they were like that big, right?
Real little.
What I learned is they're called mulitas when you add meat to them, right? So I said, I just want a cheese quesadilla. And she's like, okay. So the girls started doing it. And then everyone's like in unison, I want a quesadilla, I want a quesadilla, I want a quesadilla. So the lady's like, we're going to hold off on quesadillas right now. We're going to just do the meat, like, to get the line down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, Nikki, we fucked him up, right? But it was good. Her taco was so good. Oh, my God. I, like, downed a gallon of the spiciest salsa. Oh, my God. I paid for it. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, and I was like, oh, right?
Cleaned you out?
Oh, my God. It totally fucking cleaned me out. It was delicious. I felt so much lighter today. I'm puffy, probably from the, but still. It was her food was delicious. I don't know the name of them. Shit, I probably should have the name of the taco lady. But she did. It was 3 meats, little tortillas, her little chips, rice and beans, and then she had a juice. It was lime, cucumber, and then watermelon, tamarind, I think. What's the other one? And so I scooped my some out, and then I went to the cupboard and I put some vodka. So it was delicious. I had a good time.
You and your drinking.
I only had 1 drink. My new thing is 2 drinks and I'm out.
Nice,
right?
yeah.
I'm trying not to become like some of my friends. And so
we're maturing on this side of the table.
Yeah. 2 and done, and that's it. And I like that.
Yeah.
Because it works out well. And, towards the end of the night, I ended up leaving with my sister. But to say goodbye, I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to a lot of people because, my cousin was busy. I don't want to bother her.
Yeah.
And, she opened up her home. It's I've had my birthday party there. Like, I didn't want to bug her. And there was tons of friends there. And, so I ducked out quietly and, went home. I was in bed I took a shower, I think by like 9:30, 9:45.
Yeah.
I was out by 10.
But isn't that kind of like your MO? Don't you like to leave parties without saying goodbye?
Well, I usually say goodbye,
Really?
but I'm just like, I was tired.
Oh, okay.
I was exhausted. I had eaten like 3 plates of food.
You're making me hungry.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. But I was home, and I will say this: I know that I was tired because Jurgen, during the summertime in the apartment, we have to leave our room doors open because the air conditioning doesn't really blow that hard.
Oh
in the
yeah,
rooms.
that's right. You told me that.
So we open our doors, and then it's nice, and the air flows good, right? Well, I passed the fuck out because I took a shower and I was out.
Yeah.
No more glitter. And so I'm assuming that I must have been snoring because when I woke up, his door was closed. And normally his door isn't closed. So either he was cold or he was like, because he told me the other night I was tired too because I was making Rice Krispies. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm tired. And he goes, you were snoring. Like,
that beach.
Yeah, he's like, I was playing my game and you're...
Dude, that's so good.
Oh my God.
It's so crazy.
I laughed so hard. I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Oh God.
When are we having him on the show?
We got to have him on the show.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
It's time before we close out season 2, because season 3 is going to be totally revamped and different.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm excited.
As I like wave off mosquitoes from Montecito. What are we at in time? 35?
We're at 50 on the board.
Oh, because you just started. Okay, so that's okay. So let's.
Let's close it out.
Let's close it out. Yes, we do definitely have to have him on. God damn it! What the fuck?
Spray your head. That's right.
My God!
That's a good outtake.
Oh.
I gotta start finding some of these outtakes.
It like attacked my face. God. My arms are bit up. This is. I don't. They're just bad right now.
Oh yeah.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start making outtakes. Every episode that
Just
has
don't
outtakes.
voice them over.
Oh no.
This is the time. Poor Louie.
You know what? You know how many times I did that and I landed on that last one and my cousin's like, those sound better. The other ones before were like, this is the time.
Yeah. It was like some National Geographic behind the scenes. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the compilation video that Louis made, he did out of the kindness of his heart, because I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to do the show. I would pretend I was like a celebrity, and I was like, I know, I'm tired. I'm tired. I work, and my client had just drained me, and I was like, I'm tired. And he's like, okay, well, he was excited to like pull the trigger on this compilation video. However, when you watch it, he's like, and this is the time when Danny was welcome back to Do It Like Danny. I felt like I should have been on some iceberg in the Arctic with the penguins.
Having Angelo do it from now on. That's it.
I feel horrible. I was like, what is this? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey, I picked some good clips though.
You did. The clips were amazing. But the voiceover, he's like, and this is the time when I was like, oh my God, poor Louis.
Hey, I still need some work when it comes to this show. I'm learning.
Oh my God. Well, listen, you definitely saved me. I'm going to save us. So, as always, time just flies on this show when I'm talking about myself. Who knew? Wait, shit. I'm Shut up. As always, time is always flying. So, of course, I have to say goodbye for today's show. We're coming back. I have more stories. It's been a very busy week for us. And we have more politics coming up. So, with that being said, enjoy the rest of your evening, your day, your morning. Like, follow, subscribe, walk, gym, do whatever you need to do. Swim with us. But play us. And if you didn't hear us the first time, just hit rewind and play the show again. That'll help us. All of those plays count. Don't just watch us once. Do like Dana, play it 5 times.
Really fast.
Really, really fast. And eventually you might retain the information. And with that being said, have a great night. And remember to always do it like Danny.